In this video, we're going to provide a brief introduction to inserting more complicated mathematical equations and formulas into published Matlab documents. So suppose you're writing a solution to a homework problem and you have a sentence that says, let A be a variable. Now, if you've read math books before, usually when variables are defined, they're in a sort of different script or different font than the rest of the sentence. What Matlab allows you to do is to distinguish between variables or mathematical formulas in normal text using dollar signs. The syntax, by placing something that you want in a different math font within dollar signs, is actually taken from LaTeX, which some of you may be familiar with. Now, within the dollar signs, you can also include other aspects, like, for example, if you want to put subscripts on A, that's done with an underscore. You can put superscripts on a variable, right, by using the caret symbol. You can insert Greek letters. You can insert other sorts of mathematical symbols like infinity, and you can also insert relational symbols like approximately equal to. Of course, this sentence no longer makes sense, but you get the point. If you'd like a more complete guide of some of these shortcuts that you can use and some of the different symbols and shortcut commands that are defined, please see Michael Downs' Guide to LaTeX. Now, there'll also be times when you're writing solutions and you come across a place where you'd like to enter a series of equations aligned or centered in some nice manner. Okay. Now, this can be done using double dollar signs command in association with what's called an array environment. So to initiate an array environment, we use double dollar signs on one side and begin array on the next line. Now, within this array environment, we start off, let's say we have a first equation which says x1 plus x2 equals 7. Okay. And then we have a second equation which says x1 minus x2 equals 3. All right. Now, I'd like MATLAB to display these two equations, but I'd like them aligned in some nice way. For example, maybe I'd like the equal signs aligned, maybe I'd like the right-hand sides aligned, and maybe I'd like the left-hand sides aligned. Well, within the equation array environment, you can place what's called alignment tabs, which are simply ampersands, which tell MATLAB places you'd like text aligned. So for example, if I want the equal signs aligned, I would place ampersands in front of the equal signs. If in addition I want the 7 and the 3 aligned on the right-hand side of the equations, I could put ampersands in front of the 7 and the 3. We also need to separate the lines. So we need to tell MATLAB where to separate lines in the output with double backslashes. Okay. And we also need to tell it, and this is done within curly brackets next to the assignment, how we want each different segment aligned. For example, do we want it right aligned, left aligned, or center aligned? So in this case, just for display purposes or just for practice, I'm just going to put RLL, and this tells MATLAB to right align this, left align the equal signs, and left align these characters. Now, to avoid errors, we have to close out our array environment by closing out with \end array, that closes out the begin array, and double dollar signs closes out the double dollar signs up here. Now, the final type of object, which I'd like to show you how to define because you'll need this for your homework assignments, is matrices. Matrices within MATLAB can also be defined within this double dollar sign environment using the p-matrix command. And the p-matrix command, what it does is it says whatever is inside curly brackets, we're going to make that into a matrix that's enclosed with open parentheses. So to enter a single row of a matrix, we separate the different entries with ampersand. So this is kind of similar to the alignment tabs we used earlier. And we close out a row with this \cr command. And then, of course, we have to close out our equation environment with double dollar signs. So just to see what all this looks like so we can compare how these commands are translated into a published output, let's look at the published output. All right. Okay. All right. So in this case, the reason why it looks so bad here is because we did not put an extra line in between. So let's publish that again. Okay. So now we can see, for example, this a sub 2, the a script 2, that got this a sub 2 here in the output along with these other tabs. Here was our array environment, right? So we have the equations aligned on the left, the equal signs aligned, and the right-hand side's aligned. And here was our matrix that we created using p matrix. So now that you know this and you know how to publish the output of MATLAB, you should be able to have everything you know to get started on the early homework assignments for this class.